Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Bant Beach Tempo. We have Plagon, Lord of the Beach, powerful starfish wizard. When Plagon enters, draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. And then you can pay 1 blue or 1 white, and target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. This is really powerful against Tamiyo, of course, being able to hit with your toughness because your toughness is not debuffed. And, of course, we have tons of creatures that are higher toughness than they are power, which will contribute to Plagon, including Nadu, whom we are just playing for value. We actually don't have Nomads in the deck. In my assessment, it's not worth the slot in this particular build to play Nomad Encore or even Shaman Encore because you can trigger Nadu with Plagon. It's just slow. But Nadu is such a good creature, just like if you look at the stats, a 3/4 flying, that whenever one of your creatures is targeted, you get to flip a card. I mean, that's like insane, even if you're not triggering him. So my hope is that we can get some value off of Nadu with Plagon and that our opponents will overestimate Plagon and use all their removal and interaction on him, leaving us with a big Plagon to beat face. We have tons of mana dorks as well. Delighted Halfling, probably the best mana dork ever printed, helps ramp out Plagon, helps fix our mana so that we can also play Uncounterable Teferis, and Noble Hierarch, which can buff our creatures through the Exalted mechanism, and just tons of bodies. So when Plagon hits, sometimes we're drawing 3, 4, 5 cards. It's going to be really awesome. Backing this up, we've got the Daze Wasteland Shell. We've got all the cantrips. We've got 4 Tamiyos, so we can just turtle up behind our big toughness creatures and ride Tamiyo all the way to half our library being in our hand. The mana base is very simple. It's just 4 Trops, 2 Tundras, and 8 fetches. And the 4 Wastelands, the mana count is as low as it can be because we've got a lot of mana dorks to ramp us out. And I just didn't want to be drawing excess lands. And if I'm going to be drawing excess lands, I want those to be Wastelands. So you might be asking, oh, you could be playing Uro here. You could be playing Sithcat Cub. You could be playing a lot of powerful cards here. But I've opted to just lean fully in on Plagon. This is Bant Beach, after all. Sideboard is a bunch of free spells. We got Force of Negations. We've got Force of Vigor, which is really strong in the meta right now. And we've got 4 Endurance, which is good against Delver. It's good against really any graveyard strategy, and it can be pitch cast for free. We've got Null Rods. We don't use our graveyard or any sort of artifacts other than the Tamiyo clues. Null Rod and graveyards are totally fine. I did think about putting Rest in Peace in here, but I think Endurance is just better because it's more generally applicable against the field. And also it's a 3/4, which, you know, also procs Plagon. And then I've got a couple consigned to memories here. These are important for like Fury. You'll note that we don't have any Blue Elemental Blast, which I always say don't leave home without them. But here, I don't think that we can afford to play Blue Elemental Blast. We need to be able to cast our mana dorks. So I'm not playing any basics. So being able to play Blue Elemental Blast or Hydroblast is contingent on having blue mana. So what we're going to try to do instead is just stop their Blood Moons with Force of Vigor and stop them from resolving. But there is the problem that they could have Magus of the Moon. So I just want to acknowledge that right now. We're very weak to Magus of the Moon. We're also very weak to Fury. So I might be bringing these consigns in against Moonstompy type decks. But I'm hopeful that with our Dazes and our Forces, we can stop the worst before it hits the table. So we're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're on the draw against an unknown opponent. We have an incredible hand. I mean, this Halfling is going to be insane. Hopefully they don't combo us before we can go crazy. Because we can Halfling, and then we can Nadu, and then we can Tamiyo and Plagon in the same turns. But like, draw 4 cards, flip your Tamiyo. That seems pretty insane. We also have Teferi if we need to bounce a problematic permanent. The one thing that I'm missing from this hand is Force of Will. I'm not that worried about Wasteland because worst case scenario, they waste us. We can still just play a fetch out and go play a Tamiyo and just keep our fetch up. Fetches have natural Wasteland protection. Okay, so blue-black. Not a surprise. It's like half the meta. This is probably Reanimator. Now we drew the Force. I'm going to let them Entomb most likely. Am I? No, I think I have to force the Entomb. The good news, again, is they're going to take this Nadu as something they have to deal with, when in fact it's not dangerous in our deck. But since he's a boogeyman of the format, people have to take him seriously. It's kind of like if you throw Reanimate into your blue-black list. Yeah, this is fine. This is good. We're not getting Entombed here. We could always get Entombed and Reanimated next turn, and we still won't have mana to pay for Daze, unfortunately. That's just being on the draw against the most powerful deck in the format. Okay, we're in. Hopefully they're on Doomsday, something like that. Oh, are we not in? We're not in. Okay. So this further confirms my suspicion that we're up against Reanimator. I think you're like 2 or 3 times more likely to be playing against blue-black Reanimator than you are to be playing against blue-black Tempo. Okay, Tommy. We don't have a clear way to deal with that, but I'm just going to play my own Tommy and hope for the best. Because, I mean, we could find a plow. That'd be great. We can always bounce Tommy if she's not in Planeswalker form, but once she's in Planeswalker form, there's very little we can do. Best draw would probably just be like a Mana Dork. So I could tap both, but actually that might be dangerous, depending on what's in their hand. I don't think we use this yet. So now they can't waste us off of our mana that we can use to pay for Daze if we have to force something. And if they flip her, I'm not that concerned because Plagon, again, can just attack through her debuff. You have to pay a mana, but you deal 3 damage to Tamiyo, so it's pretty... So she's coming in. I will go ahead and block just... It costs nothing to block them. It's unlikely that they have anything they can do, but if they were on ninjas, hypothetically, and I got, that would be embarrassing. So we don't have a Surveil land in the deck. We're just going to untap. Looking for land number 3. We didn't find it. I'm going to create a clue, and then I'm going to ponder. I would love to find a Daze here. But like, I mean, the best find would be just... okay, there's the Daze. Question is, do we want to play the land now? Or do we want... Because I want both of these cards. If I play the land now, I can... I like having a second form of interaction just in case they have the nuts. And then we can potentially Daze. I'm not going to tap out here. Yeah, it's going to be the Daze. And this will be a double bummer if we have to use this. If they fatal push this, then I'll presume they're on blue-black Tempo, which would be a relief because it's much easier to beat. All right, they are going to crack their clue, I presume. If they play a Bowmaster, I will Daze that. They are ahead on cards, but this clue represents virtual cards later. There's the Entomb. I think we force. I'm going to pitch Redundant Plagon. Okay, that worked. We beat back the scariest thing. Oh, they have another one. Well, I can't stop this one. So then I'm just going to have to hope that they go for the Reanimate immediately. They put Archon in there. Okay, so they're going to attack first. So that's just chilling there for the rest of the game. We don't have any main deck ways to get rid of that. Okay, and they are being very careful. Okay, so we got our land. Play it out. I'm going to go ahead and create my clue, and then I can Plagon, which will flip Tommy, assuming it resolves. They could have another Daze, or they could have a force. If they try to cantrip beforehand, then that sets up their force for failure. The question is Plagon good enough? We get 2 cards. The other options, of course, are Nadu and Teferi. I don't think Teferi does enough. But if Teferi sticks, they have to brainstorm immediately. They get this out. This kills it. I can bounce it back. But I can always just play it and bounce it next turn. If they don't immediately have the Reanimate, it would be nice to minus and grab the force out of our yard. So that is an argument for just playing Plagon now. There's an argument for playing Nadu, which is that now we could sack this to the Archon. And then we have an even bigger Plagon the subsequent turn. Oh, it's so hard to decide. And all of this is because the Delighted Halfling went to the yard. Like, we completely tap out and we're like totally naked to this Archon. Plagon could draw 2 cards, but again, like that's a huge, like if he resolves, that will give me another body to sack instead of the Tamiyo. Tamiyo could regrow Ponder. Ponder could find Plow. I think between the card draw they're going to get, like let's say hypothetically they reanimate this, they get a card draw immediately. We have to discard a card. They could probably use the other 2 mana to flip this. That is another card. So I don't think that Teferi is likely to resolve next turn if we don't play him now. If we do play him now, we could bounce this, but then they play the Archon. We don't have a way to bounce it. I could play Teferi. I could plus Teferi. It's unlikely they can interact with it. They may be able to borrow it out of play for no value. Then I took a huge risk playing out of Teferi that doesn't do anything. I think what I want to do here is just go ahead and attack with Tamiyo and then probably try to stick Nadu and have a bigger Plagon. No, I'm going to go for Plagon. I don't think it's going to resolve, but I think just the nature of us being on the draw against the best deck in the format, like, you just have to accept that, like, you're somewhat powerless. Like, their deck is totally overpowered, and you have to step into the breach. So I will get a Trop here, or a Tundra. I've got 2 in the deck, but I'm going to need it next turn if they don't waste me. I think this is likely going to get countered, but if it doesn't get countered for some reason, it's huge. Holy cow, that's huge. Okay. We get our 2 cards. We get an extra Teferi, so we could take 2 cracks at Teferi. If they do this, actually, next turn, what I can do is I can regrow the Force, and then I can go for Teferi to bounce. So I'm actually in a pretty strong position. They're just sewering. They've already got their fatty, so this isn't that big of a deal for us. And if I had played Nadu, like, I wouldn't be in this favorable position because Tamiyo wouldn't have flipped. They been a ponder. What does that tell me? It tells me they already have what they're looking for. Is this a Merc? Please play Merc. Please play Merc. I love Merc. Yeah, that's fine. Tamiyo's going to come in for a hug. They've got another clue. They continue to go up in cards, and we can cash these in later. I intentionally, even though we've got a lot of mana dorks, we don't have high curve stuff because I knew we were going to have lots of... Okay, so we do have to resolve this Teferi. So I am going to go get the Force of Will here. Oh, they do have the Reanimate. So, yeah, I don't think we can win anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to let this happen. Yeah, so they had, like, everything, basically. Card to discard. I mean, there's a world in which Daze is relevant. I could discard the Ponder. I could discard Nadu, but Nadu might be like a really good way to like tread water after this is over. But we're going to have to Teferi 2 turns in a row. Once to bounce this and once to bounce the Merc. Wow, they had the nuts, needless to say. Plow would be great, but it's not going to change the fact that we needed Teferi here. Okay, wow, that's a good draw. That does mean we could plus here, but they have to choose which they... I think it's actually good to just get back the Force so we have double Force to ensure this resolves. All right, we're going to do it. Teferi number 1. If they have Daze, it's so annoying because we have to force the Daze. And then we force pitch Nadu, and then... Okay, yeah, they do have the Daze, and I have to force this. Yeah, I mean, Nadu was kind of how I was planning to rebuild here. But I guess I'll rebuild with these clue tokens instead. Because Daze could be live as like a third. Like, we have to get this Archon out of play or the game's over immediately. Then we'll figure out how to deal with... Okay, that's a relief. By Archon, we get a card. Okay, and now we still have Force up. They have to choose which of these they want to kill. Unless they have a Bowmasters too. Hopefully they go after... I mean, they're going to go after Tamiyo, and then we're going to have to Legend Roll our Teferi to get this out of play, probably. They still have 5 cards in their grip plus 3 more virtual cards that they can draw. They're going after Teferi, which is great. That works out perfectly. So I'll be able to continue to keep Tamiyo around. They can redeploy this pretty quickly, though. I mean, they could redeploy it now. Oh, no, they're going to waste this off our color. That ruins our plan if they go for this. Please flipper. Please flipper and ignore me. Yes. Okay, so they are going to be able to regrow their reanimate stuff. It's annoying, but that's how it works. We're just treading water, trying to survive on the draw against the most powerful deck, maybe in Legacy history. I don't think that's an exaggeration. This deck has been on top of the format with a 60% win rate for more than a year at this point. Okay, so do you have a Force? Okay, you don't. Well, get another card. I would have loved to do more there, but we're just going to have to be content with that. We have Daze up, but it's not going to matter. They got greedy. They should have just wasted us, and we wouldn't have been able to do this, and we would have lost. But they didn't know that. So next turn, I'm definitely deploying this halfling and a backup Tamiyo to chump here because they're going to play a Merc, it looks like. I could force the Merc. They have 8 cards in hand. It's crazy. And Tamiyo's like basically 1 turn from victory. Actually, can I even play this? I don't think I can play this. I think I have to play Nadu next turn. But there's no way I can play Nadu because they're going to waste me. I've got 2 turns. So the next turn this goes to 8 and then it ultimates. But I need to play a creature because I don't have hasty beats. Here's the Merc. I have to force this actually because I can't get through it with Nadu. Okay, they have another land. So this Daze is definitely not looking good. I'm going to force pitch it. If I draw another, like in theory, I play out this, but this will flip when I play out my Plagon, so I won't be able to attack. Because with Plagon out, you can pay 1 blue mana and basically make this into a 3/3 flying attacker, which is really good, but it will necessarily flip. They're not tapping out, unfortunately. So I will be able to definitely resolve this force. It's just not going to get me where I need to go. So if I rip Plagon after Delighted Halfling, okay, this has to be countered. We just can't beat this. I mean, like we could potentially find a plow. I'm just going to force it though. Let's pitch Tommy. Unfortunately, like we have all the clues we need. There's still a world in which Daze could do something, but Tommy's probably not going to. Okay, they are wasting our white source. So plow is no longer an out. So what we're going to do is hopefully rip a land and play a Nadu. And then I think we're okay. That doesn't help. Okay, so we'll plus here. We could minus and just grab a ponder to find a land. We have to take care of this somehow. This is never going to catch up with her. We don't have enough mana to correct the clues because they've been going after our mana. They stopped. Yeah, we have to find, or we have to find. So this goes up to 8 next turn. We put the halfling out and then we have to find, is there even a way? Like we make a land drop. Okay. We wouldn't have the extra mana. Yeah, I think we're just dead to this. I'm trying to think of what we could find that would stop this. I don't think there's anything. I'm going to concede. Frustrating. I'm not going to show them any more of my deck. Like they did not see Nadu, did they? Yeah, and it sucks to lose from that position, but like you have to understand that you're just, when you stop the reanimation plan, you're just stopping their plan A. They've got very robust plan Bs. Okay, so we're bringing in endurance. I'm taking out the Daze. Well, I'm taking out one of the Wastelands. That may seem weird, but like you never win wasting them. They always have 1 black mana reanimate. All these other cards I think are very necessary. I don't want to take out yet another Wasteland. You might be asking, where's Carpet? I didn't think Carpet belonged here. They can just play like Swamp and keep fetches out and stuff and keep you off your Carpet mana. Carpet is often only good for 1 mana. Fundamentally, and again, I apologize if this seems like I'm whining or something, but like I'm just telling it how it is. Fundamentally, their deck only needs 1 Swamp in play to win. 1 Swamp, tap, and 2, and 1 Swamp, tap, reanimate. And so like Tempo Plan just does not work against their deck. So I'll take out the Daze. So we've got our 4 endurances in, which will hopefully buy time, and are good against Tamiyo. They're good against basically every facet of their deck. They can prevent like a giant Murktide from coming in. I think this is the way we're going to build it. And it's important to note, like I never would have had time, even if I had the Nadu combo, I wouldn't have had time to play this because they had lots of disruption. They had double Daze. I can't remember if they forced. Yeah, they had double Entomb and Reanimate in their top 14 cards. Really like their top, I think it was like 10 cards. Had double Entomb and Reanimate. And of course we were on the draw. So like just everything was working against us there, but I think we did our best. I wonder if they're going to submit their deck or if they just walked away from it. It looks like they waited till the last second to submit. This is a Hierarch hand with an endurance. I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to go ahead and put the Hierarch out there. I'll keep the fetch. We don't have Surveil. Like I don't expect to have to pitch cast endurance immediately. They could have Bowmaster from the side, but usually they're not playing that. We'll see. It would make sense here. I don't actually know whether they saw Noble Hierarch last game. Thoughtseize. So I don't think it's correct to waste them here. I think we need to continue building our board. Goodness, we're getting so many lands. Now we kind of need to... Yeah, I just don't think it makes sense ever really to waste them. I'm going to go ahead and... I mean, it's actually really bad if they daze this. I'm going to play the Tundra, and I'm going to use that to ponder, so if I find a dork, I can play it. Okay, I found a dork. We found a plow as well. These are both good. We'll have to shuffle before we get to that land. So I'll just play out my Misty next turn. All right, let's play this out. And I know that they can just Entomb Reanimate now, and I don't have a card to pitch for Endurance. That's just life. We have Plow to potentially kill their Atraxa, or if they can just go for Archon and remove this as well, if they just have the God Hand. But like, it would be reckless to just jam. Like, they know we have tons of stack interaction. They saw our Dazes and our Forces last game. They may not have seen Daze. Okay, Thoughtseize is unfortunate, but that's life. If they don't play a second land, I will waste them, but I bet you they have a second land. It is weird that they did that with, like, out respecting Daze. Okay, and I do have to shuffle here. I'm going to draw the Plow, but I do have to shuffle because I don't want to draw that other card. They could also, like, just reanimate our Endurance. That's something they can do. Like, their deck just has so many options. Again, I'm telling people, if they want to win at Eternal Weekend, the winner of Eternal Weekend will be this deck. I think I would... I'm not a betting man, but I would put, like, basically everything. I'm just going to go in for a point. It's small, but every point matters here. Because what we're doing is we're making it a little more uncomfortable for them to reanimate. I won a game yesterday where I just attacked with Delighted Halflings repeatedly. Okay, they've been a Misty. So they had plenty of lands. There was never a situation, never like a moment where it was correct. So let's go ahead and fetch. I'm just going to get another trop. Non-land, please. Okay, that's a good card. I have to go off of... no, I don't have to go off Plow to do it. I'm trying to think if there is a rationale for just wasting them here. Because it does cut them off of Barragoyf, if that's what they're trying to do. But like, I feel like they would probably just jam Barragoyf, but they may have another land in hand and just like, oh, I'll play around Daze. I think I am going to go ahead and waste them. And I'm going to waste the Undercity Sewer because I can keep like bouncing that back to hand with Dazes. And I don't have a good attack here because I need to keep men up for Plow and Emergency. If Teferi resolves, then we don't have to worry about Daze. We still have to worry. We don't have to worry about double Daze either right now. Blue, white. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do it like, no. I'm going to do it like this because I think it's more likely that they have a Wasteland than that they have a push. But I could be wrong. Okay, so they're putting mana in. They're paying for day. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then they're going to Daze a second time. Unfortunately, they are going to have double Daze here. Otherwise, there's no reason they would do that. So that sucks. We fell for the double Daze. Yeah. Okay. Well, that wouldn't have really done anything initially. Would have just sat there. But it still sucks that we got double Daze. Because Daze usually is a dead card at this point in the game. And now they can start wasting our white sources, but we do have backup white source here. Here's the Entomb, the Thoughtseize to take our Plow. And there's a decent risk that we just keep drawing lands from here on out. They did do 2 damage to themselves, so Noble Hierarchy is going to be chonking away at them a little bit. They've already seen this trop. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm now. I want to find a fetch so I can get rid of this. If they force this, I think that's a huge error. They have like literally nothing going on. And we found good stuff. So here, we go ahead and we just keep Endurance. I mean, they couldn't do Reanimate next turn. Plagon is too good. And put this on top. I mean, we could actually hide Plagon and Endurance. That might make sense. I'm just worried that we might need the Endurance. So we could go ahead and trop and Halfling here. And then we Plague in next turn. If they don't have the force, they may have a force, but they won't be able to force our Plague, but they will be able to force our Endurance. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to go to Hellbent. So now we don't have to worry about Thoughtseize for a while. Okay, and now we can attack for 1, and we can pass. And, I mean, there's a chance they just have Entomb Reanimate and we die. It's certainly possible. It has happened before. Okay, they're passing. All right, we may actually be able to pull this off. Okay, so we're going to go blue. Yeah, I want to hold this up, this green. So we're going to draw 3 cards here. If they have Bowmaster, it's pretty catastrophic because they can hit like basically our entire board. That would be the best thing they could have. They do have it. Wow, they have the best possible. Damn, and they can do it with the hierarch trigger on the stack, so we don't even get the hierarch, or we don't even get the draw for that. It's crazy to me that they didn't just bowmaster this last turn cycle, but maybe they were waiting for a better opportunity. Oh, is it just petty thefting that? That's actually not that bad. So we still get 2 cards. And actually, this is kind of nice because now we have a guaranteed pitch cast. I don't want to redeploy yet. I'll redeploy next turn and get the attack. We've given them too much Daze equity so far. Yeah, and this way, again, we have endurance in case their last 2 cards are in Tomb Reanimate. Their last card might be like a Murktide, which would be scary, but we could race it. All right, they played a land and are passing. I guess we knew that they had that land because they double dazed. I think we most likely got this game. All right, that is a great rip. Now I feel like we definitely have this game. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Hierarch. So I could attack for 4, or I could attack for 5. If I attack for 5, I completely tap out of Daze. I'm just going to attack for 4 here. And I do need to pay 1 here. Oh, they're going to cast something. I'm going to let it go. I'll just beat them down with these things. I can resolve an Endurance next turn. I'll force a Merc, and I'll just ignore this. I can race this. Yeah, I don't think forcing there is correct because they still have lots of live draws. Their deck is just like a tinderbox. So we can attack for 1 here. There's no reason to play out this Tamiyo. We've got this. We just need to, if I play this out now, I deprive them of potential Merc. I think that's fine. Yeah, and they scooped. Okay. We're going to keep the deck the exact same. I want to go down even 1 more Daze, but there's nothing to bring in really. I guess I could bring in a Wasteland. It's probably better. Well, Daze is a blue card for force. I think it's better to bring in a Wasteland just so we can make sure we make a land drop every turn. We've got plenty of blue cards to pitch for force. We have 26 blue cards. Okay, this is a pretty decent hand. We don't have any acceleration, but we have turn 1 Tamiyo. And I do like this force. I'm going to keep... So turn 1 is probably actually going to be Ponder just because we don't want to get wasted out of the game. Yeah, and they're going to start building their advantage. If I draw a land, then I will go for Tamiyo. Okay, I'm going to go for Tamiyo. We're off to the Tamiyo races with 2 points of free interaction. But again, they could have Daze Force. If they Daze this, I'm just going to accept it. They do. So unfortunately, this means they're going to be creating clues every turn, but and they could waste here, and they get like all kinds of bad things. I'm going to just not talk about them. But the very scary thing is that they are continuing to get further ahead with each Tamiyo. Can we race this? The scary thing is if they have a second Daze, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't think we can race this, unfortunately. I think I do need to force it. I'm going to force pitch Brainstorm. Gosh, this is terrible. They didn't even attack. Like, why not attack and create a clue? Let's see. Because endurance. Okay, so even if we like find land consistently, so they go to 4 immediately, then we find a land, then they go to 6, and then we play this and they go to 8. I think it's too late. But I am glad that they didn't, play a land at least. At least there's that. So here comes the second Daze. We're a force. Okay. So at least we got a 2 for 2 there. That was definitely worth trying. Yeah, this is a big problem for the deck, frankly, and for every deck right now, is how do you deal with the flip Tamiyo? We can't deal with it. We don't have Prismatic Ending in our 75. I didn't think it was worth bringing it in or putting it in there. You could argue it's in there. I wanted to have minimal white because I wanted to have a heavy dedication to endurance. All right, so we find a mana dork today, this turn, and they don't have Daze. Okay, we found a dork. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use all my mana here. I'm going to play the dork, and then I'm going to try to find a force. That way we can either pitch, cast, endurance, or Nadu, or we can pitch Nadu to either of those. But we are going to need to resolve either Nadu or endurance next turn. I'm going to get a Tundra here. Does that make sense? Because if they remove this, we'll wish we had green. We have white off of, if they don't remove our Hierarch. Yeah, I'm going to take the Trop here. Okay, so this is another Endurance, which I like, and a third land. Man, this is going to be freaking touch and go, isn't it? I need that land. I want the second endurance now. Just in case I have to pitch cast endurance, I still have a... And they could Thoughtseize as well. But once endurance comes down, assuming this is still on the table, we're in pretty good position. Attacking for one doesn't even do anything here. Yeah, they're going to take one of our dudes, but we still have a dude to play out. They could regrow. If they regrow, it's actually a huge load off. Unfortunately, they're not going to. Okay. I have to assume that they have another force to protect this. I'm going to just play it out proactively. I don't want them to somehow get me off triple white or triple green. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. Green, green, green. Just play it now. That way they can't murk. And they would have to have Entomb and Reanimate. And if they force here, we lose. Okay, they didn't force. Okay. But if they remove this, we lose. We can attack for one. I think we should. No, actually, we don't attack for any. Tamiyo is just too good. So if they just have a fatal push, the game's over. They push her to 8. Any blocker also... Okay, I'm ready to concede. They reanimate our Nadu. Unfortunately, that's the game. We know what we're drawing, right? Because this is big enough to hit through Nadu. It won't kill Nadu because of the debuff. We Plagon. We draw 3 cards. It's not going to matter because we can't draw enough land. We can't draw enough mana to get through all this. No, wait. We find Plow. We find Plow, and that works. So I'm going to Plagon here. Draw 3 cards. Unfortunately, I don't think... Well, okay. We found the freaking Plow. Holy cow. Plagon goes back. This land goes back. I'm just going to fetch now. Holy cow. They get a card. They could rip like a Force or a Daze. We have to try. We are literally doing everything just to kill this. Turn 1 Tamiyo. They find a Wasteland. Do you have a Daze or a Force? I find it hard to believe they wouldn't have already used it. All right, so now we can attack Tamiyo. What a freaking sequence. Holy cow. We needed like a miracle and we got a miracle. And I want to tell everybody, like, this is not some like world beating, like super accomplished blue-black Reanimator player. This deck is so easy to play that I struggle playing even people with like 0 Magic the Gathering history, basically, who've never even played or like who have never even played Legacy. At least not according to MTG Goldfish. Like this person plays Pauper and Penny Dreadful. They just picked up the deck. It's so powerful. You don't need any reps with it. You can just destroy people with it. There was a tournament. What are they going to play? If they play like a... Because we have multiple attackers. And we're just trying to kill their damn 1-drop. They didn't even attack to create a clue. Right? Like again, I hope I'm not being too harsh on this player. But this is like extremely common. The deck is so powerful that like literally anybody can play it to victories. I played it against a guy who didn't even play Magic that much. He played Legacy. He was playing Blue-Black Reanimator. He went to the Hunter Burton, and he literally did not lose a game. The entire thing. He won the entire event, like a 200-person tournament, and he didn't even lose a game. He was on Blue-Black Reanimator, of course. That's how overpowered this deck is. So, like, if you don't know what you're doing and you want to win an Eternal Weekend, you actually have a shot with this deck. Okay, they're taking us up white. They're entombing. Okay. So I do want to get that Archon out of their yard. I'm going to make the land drop. And then I am going to go ahead and get this out of their yard before we do anything else. And if this doesn't work, it may inform some of my decisions here. They know about this, I think. Didn't they see double endurance when they Thoughtseize me? Now we're going to attack. And here, I'm just going to max damage on her. Actually, we have enough to kill her. The debuffs happen. Now I'm going to go ahead and just target Plagon. Plagon targeting endurance. Oh, that feels so satisfying. Oh my goodness. We're a Tamiyo deck. We're leaning into the degeneracy too. I can't be too much of a hypocrite here. But like, tell me that card is not incredibly overpowered. We needed a miracle. A miracle. We've got 2 minutes on the clock, but I think we're going to be able to kill him pretty quickly here. They're reanimating Tamiyo. Sure. Let's just keep. We're gonna just smosh. Let's see. We're not gonna be able to hit her for lethal. Actually, we could just bounce her to hand. Does that do it? Back to hand ye go. No, we're only attacking for 13, but they scooped. Yeah. Wow, that was freaking touch and go. I did not think we were going to win that game against somebody that I've never even seen on MTGO before, who's playing the best deck and giving us a run for our money. Round 2, we're on the play. Our opponent plays all kinds of decks, including Moon the Stompy, which is very scary. We do have Tamiyo into Plagon. I don't like the fact that we have 3 of this legendary creature, but I'm going to keep this hand. We're going to turn 1 Tommy, and we're going to hope that they don't waste into a turn 1 Tommy. Like the general, oh no, they're mulliganing heavily. Those were some fast mulligans. So I'm going to assume that maybe, and they've historically always played fair decks. Oh, we don't have a turn 2 Plagon because we have Wasteland. For some reason, I thought we were going to be able to play that out, but we don't always get to play a turn 2. It looks like we're up against Delver most likely. So this is going to be a problem. We need to find a green source stat. Okay, that's a great rip. I am going to play this Wasteland out because I don't want to get this Ponder Daze. It's too important. I don't really care about my white sources. Green is the color we care about in this deck. So I could absolutely just crack the clue, but that means that I may not be able to use this Ponder later. And that is more important to me. Holy cow, this is so good. So Halfling is great. We have double land. I do want double land for sure. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, as much as I want this Halfling, I think, well, let's see. Next turn, we play the land. We had to fetch to play out the Halfling. Yeah, I think we just take double land and not take the Halfling. And all of our fetches fetch all of our lands, so we don't need to worry about like the particular flavor. I do think at this point, it may make sense to go ahead and waste. Just in case. Did they shuffle that Ponder? They did not. I'm going to go ahead and waste. They may not expect waste coming out of like Tundra Tamiyo. They may think we're on like Jeskai. If they're on Delver, you never waste Delver. And we just made a really bad mistake. But we've got plenty of land. So, oh wow. Plains. Heck yeah. So our opponent's on like some sort of like Jeskai build. But with Volk, they could just be on Jeskai control. But they've never played anything like that before. All right. So here, I'm going to go ahead and trop into Delighted Halfling. And then next turn, we've got a pretty prosperous Plagon coming. We still get our clue. We can crack if like this does. And there's a decent chance this gets plowed. But if it doesn't get plowed, I can still Plagon for 1 card. It's not the end of the world. And you can always re-Plagon. Oh, wow. What are they doing over there? Another Halfling. We could definitely wait. No, we don't have to wait. Check this out. Because Halfling is like basically guaranteed. I'm going to fetch. Please don't bolt this while I'm fetching. That would be embarrassing. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab another trop and blue, green, blue. This is what our deck does. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I'm getting to show you the power of Plagon. Cannot be countered. They concede. Love it. We were on the play there doing our tempo thing. They didn't see the Dazes. Yeah, I don't think I make any changes based on what I saw. A lot of people have like these very ornate sideboards. Like, oh, you're going to have something for every matchup. But like, if you haven't noticed from watching my channel, like I often just don't make any substitutions whatsoever. You could definitely take out the Dazes for force negations if you think that like your opponent's on Jeskai, but we're not sure they're on Jeskai, and we didn't show Daze, so Daze still has power. They did see the Wasteland. But like I think it's totally fine for you to not even bother sideboarding for like anything but the top matchups. And the top matchups, Blue-Black Reanimator, Carnforge, Delver, Breakfast. Those are like the 4 top ones. Or Blue-Black Tempo is, in my humble opinion, slightly better than Blue-Red Delver, but Blue-Red Delver's great too. So those are the top 5. So like you want to have stuff for those matchups, but the other matchups you don't even really care. Like Moon Stompy has been falling lately because Baragwayf is so strong against them. Okay, our opponent disconnected, so hopefully they come back. I'll let you know when they do. All right, game 2 of round 2. This hand doesn't really do a lot. It is stable. It's got that Ponder. I'm worried about playing a long game with them. I think they're almost certainly on like an ultra fair deck like Jeskai control. I think we can do better. This definitely qualifies as better. Got Daze to protect our Tommy. I think we put back Plow. We have double Tommy. They can kill our first one. And then we can stick our second. Tarn. Tundra. Tommy. Okay. I can't interact with that. We're going to have a Tommy off. Halfling. I lead with Halfling, not Tommy. It costs us a clue, but it gives us stability. And it's also threatening. And we can uncounterably cast. Okay, they didn't force that. I think this is almost certainly going to get killed around Daze. And that does leave us in a one clue deficit, but clues don't mean anything if we don't have mana to crack them. The game may not go long anyway if they are able to flip her. Oh, wow. That's so lucky. They don't have removal. Or they're just waiting for now. Okay. So now I'm going to definitely Hierarch, and then I'm going to Tommy. I don't think they're going to have sweepers, but they could absolutely have sweepers here. So we have uncounterable Tommy coming in. We're happy to Daze if they do something now, but they're going to do it in our end step where we won't be able to replay this land. They could still be on like a Delver style deck. Okay, just cracking a clue. That makes sense. She's not yet flipped, but once she does, it is a problem. We can hit for 1 with this Halfling. I don't think they're on a tempo deck. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. They are coming in again. I will block just out of respect for like ninjas. Like go get an Underground Sea, play Yuriko. I don't know. Okay, another Hierarch is this allows us to increase the damage output of our Hierarch. I do think there's a risk that they have Daze. I want to get this in first, and then I can brainstorm to find a land. Well, let's see. If I brainstorm... No, I definitely don't want to brainstorm to find a land yet. So I want to attack first. Yeah, I just realized. Oh, yeah, I've got the Brainstorm Tamiyo combo. She's so powerful, you just forget. So they take 2 here, which, it's nice that my mana base is buffing. Okay. I am going to go ahead and attempt to brainstorm here, and I'm hoping to bait out a force or some sort of like clue into force or something like that. If they just... Daze is not a big deal. I would love to find a land, especially like a fetch land to put away one of these Dazes. I don't think we're likely to Daze them 2 turns in a row. That'd be insane. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Pyro in their deck. Seeing that we did do like basically mono blue things last game. Holy cow, this is great. So I'm going to put back... I think I put back the Ponder. And then I have double Daze and Plow. I think that's where we want to be. That may seem crazy because they have a lot of mana, but like I do want to stop their stuff. Plus, now we have lots of optionality. They're fetching. Are they going to Pyro? They're clue cracking. Now is a good opportunity to go ahead and plow this off the table. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'll do it before they draw. Do I want to let them draw so they could potentially find a force so I can blow it out? That's weird because we're giving them options. They could have the Daze of their own, but I actually have 2 Dazes, so it's not that big a deal. I do want to get this off the table. I think I'm going to do it now because it would be too weird to let them draw. Okay, that worked. They get a card, but we have a pretty solid board presence. I don't want to see them make a land drop, but they do. Come on, go for like a Jace the Mind Sculptor or some huge thing. Don't play cheap spells. We had this clue we can crack even if they remove Tommy. She'll still be a 2-for-1, but they have 2-for-1 us. Or 3-for-1 us, I think, with their turn 1 Tommy. Come on, play a big Planeswalker. Come on, you're Jeskai control, right? They're going to put Prismatic Ending on top. Okay. Now they may brainstorm to get it so they can immediately get use out of it, but if they don't, I'm going to minus. Oh, wow. Ha ha ha, yes. I will bounce this back to hand. Would you like to force this? They have a Daze of their own. Okay, that works. I'm glad I kept those Dazes. They could have Dazed and done a lot of stuff earlier. All right, so we're drawing wild. I'm going to get the Brainstorm back. I could get the Plow back, but I already have a Plow. Yeah, let's get Brainstorm back. They're welcome to Prismatic End her. If they'd like, I think we just want to go ahead and play out a trop. I'm worried that they might have sweepers, but they may not have sweepers. I think they're just on like some big Patriot aggro type deck. So we've already played out a land, actually. That was maybe a misplay, because now I can't fetch. Let's see. Maybe I find... No. Actually, I don't know what I can find. I think I just hold the brainstorm. Yeah, and now we have lots of... Like, we can always crack this clue off if we need to. They're drawing a prismatic ending, which I presume they're going to just fire off at this Tamiyo. Stock up. I want to see if I can find another Daze. That'd be pretty good. Do we want to crack this clue first? Okay, halfling. Did I do it? They know I have it. I think I'm going to let this go through. Like, no, if I found a Daze, it's so good. All right, we didn't find Daze, but Plagon's going to be insane here. Next turn, I can halfling and Plagon in the same turn cycle. I'll put back this Tundra. Nadu combos with Plagon. They could try to exile Nadu. I will redraw the Nadu, I guess. Miraculously thought seizing that out of my... Plagon's going to draw a lot of cards here, but he is counterable. I think it might be smarter to just play... Okay, and they're doing this again. Okay, stock up on top. I think it may actually be better to go ahead and just do Nadu first, because we play out Delighted Halfling and then Nadu. Like, they could be playing some sort of sweeper, like Wrath of the Skies. They would have enough mana. They wouldn't have double white. Okay, so we're going to draw Nadu. I'm going to plus here. I don't want Nadu to get countered, so I'm going to cast him. So I'll get Tundra just in case they force that. Okay, that essentially undoes. Okay, and now I'm going to play out the half. They can Prismatic End one of these. But they should go after Tamiyo. But Tamiyo doesn't contribute to Plagon. So assuming they don't kill this, I've got uncounterable draw 4, which is just insane. But if they Wrath here, I could lose my entire board. That is not a surprise. They can go ahead and just stock up again. Yeah, that's fine. I'm worried that they're going to plow this and they're going to have another force, but they are running lower in resources. They're 2 for 1-ing, but I'm about to 4 for 1. And we have plow for the next Merc. We've got a pretty sweet setup. These Dazes have been insane, even on the draw. Like 4x Daze. By the way, you may be wondering, like, how is this different from like the typical like Bant mid-range type? Oh, that's great. So I can get rid of that too. All right, so let's draw for Plagon first, and then I'll just plow because I might draw like a... I mean, this just makes it even juicier. So let's go blue, Plagon, draw 5. This may just get them to concede. It's uncounterable. Look at that. Look at that. Holy guacamole. Now I can just do a Daze protected plow on this. I mean, like, how do we lose? Like, somehow we don't counter. Let's see. I think it's better to do Daze protected. Okay. And now I can just, I guess I could just fetch for momentum here. I'm not going to be casting anything. And that way I might be able to find a force in case they do have a Wrath. Next turn, I have a second Plagon and cast them, even though you can only keep 1. It will draw 5. I don't think we need these cards. I mean, Plagon is a draw 5. Maybe I do want it. I don't know. Plow is fine. I can shuffle away the land, which I don't need. Yeah, I'll do it like this. And then I think we're just going to go to so much value town that they're not going to be able to keep up. Even if they Wrath, I mean, if they Wrath, it's catastrophic. Like, they can take our entire board. But we can rebuild with Plagon over the course of a few turns. Ending on that. It's a 1 for 1. Stock up again. That's fine. I think I do probably just attack with Plagon and then re-Plagon. This will attack for 6. Plagon is so good. Criminally underrated card. Take 6 from a 0-3. Okay. Next, I am going to fetch. I will get another trop. I don't want them to like waste me off Tundra and like not have that available. We're going to go blue, green, blue. I'll just tap these so I can keep my actual lands up in case they get wet. Would you like to force this? Wow, that felt great. 2-0. See you in round 3. All right, now we're up against a seasoned Reanimator player. Not like the one we beat earlier. That was just warm up. This person has lost like a trophy yesterday. with it. So I think this is a keep. I think we lead with the Tundra because we definitely want to be able to cast Nadu on curve. This hand's fine. Luckily, we're on the play, which we need every advantage we can against their incredibly broken deck. They're unlikely to waste when this comes out. And they're also unlikely to freaking interact because their deck doesn't need to interact. Their removal spell is Archon of Cruelty. Catacombs. Fetch. Please be playing something other than Blue-Black Reanimator. Thoughtseize. All right. Probably going to take our Nadu. So we'll have to worry about Nadu getting reanimated. I'm actually going to start firing off these Wastelands as like feudal as it is. They may take Plow. They're probably like weirded out seeing Wasteland and Nadu in the same deck. It's not common that they're played together because the color requirements. I mean, this is a big card. You can really only play this if you're playing a bunch of ramp spells. They took the Plow. That means they're going to probably Reanimator us here. They're like, nice combo. I've got a faster one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and waste them. Create a clue, pass. And if we get into a Wasteland fight, we've got a lot of lands. So this is probably the Entomb, and then next turn is going to be the Reanimate. Oh, Basic Island. Okay, they have a Tommy. That's fine. I will eventually get through it. I'm not going to be able to waste my way out of this one, though, since they had the Basic. But maybe they're Cut Off Swamps. Play this. Yeah, I can fetch, and then, yeah, because we've got another fetch we can use to shuffle later when we find a Brainstorm, which will hopefully... Okay, they block. It costs nothing to block. It's free to block. I think we just pass, and then we can crack this end step. That way we keep our mana up, and they may think like, oh, maybe they drew... Because we did draw 2 lands, unfortunately, since they last looked at our hand. But those could easily be like forces or endurances or any number of things as far as they're concerned. If they just Brainstorm here, I'm absolutely going to hope to find Daze. Brainstorm is doubly scary because it also potentially gives them a land. Man, that is a beautiful land. This is from the Murder at Markov Mansion. It's like a very alliterative name. Right, our opponent reconnected and looks like they're going to go to attacks. Let's get focused back in. Like I was doing other tasks because they were gone for like 9 minutes. See, do they have a land? If it's a duel, I'm going to waste it. I think this is just going to get a swamp here. I want to go ahead and see if I can find a Daze. No, it's not meaningful. But yeah, I might find a force. Is it worth forcing here? Probably not. I'm trying to think of what I could draw here that would be relevant. Yeah, I guess I go ahead and draw now. Yeah, Plagon's good. All right. So they are going to be able to flip her, unfortunately. And they're going to get a perfect Brainstorm. So they are very far ahead now. But they are on the play. They did get to Tamiyo before we did. So we have 2 options, really 3. One option is we just play this as a literal paper tiger, like try to keep them from surveilling. So it keeps them off some value. I think I'm going to attack. I might flip my own Tamiyo here. I mean, I could technically do that, but that takes me off Daze. I do think I need to cast a Ponder here just to... Like, we do need to get this dead. It's just that they're probably going to have a freaking Daze if we go for it now. I can't afford to waste them anymore, actually. Let's go ahead and Ponder here. I'm going to Ponder. I'm going to hope to find a Mana Dork. And then I can deploy my Mana Dork, and then I can play Plagon, and then hopefully we can catch up. But, like, them having flipped Tamiyo is a serious problem. Okay, found Mana Dork and a clue. Can't do both of these. Don't want this land. I do want to deploy the Dork now. That means we're not going to have force next turn, unfortunately. But we don't really have a choice. We have to fight the devil on the table, not the devil that could or could not be in their hand. Do we want to go ahead and just deploy this? They could waste us off white or green. We wouldn't need double green. I'm actually happier if I can snipe one of their lands. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this. But if they can just Entomb Reanimate, like there's nothing we can do. Yeah, but this way at least when we play again, we're going to draw some cards. And we'll have force. We'll pitch Nadu to force. They could just like... Thoughtseize, like, okay, they're going north. So Plagon is actually really instrumental in beating them down here. They're going to be able to Daze Protect No, wait, they're not going to be able to Daze protect. They're passing. Okay, so now we have force up. They could have double Daze. I'm going to go to attack. This has to work. This Plagon play has to work, or else we're completely screwed. So this gets debuffed. If they have like double force or something like that, that'll stop it. Also, if they have like a fatal push, which might be in their deck now, that's bad. Okay, they force. I'm going to force back. That sequence where we found both the Plagon and the land, that was absolutely critical. So I'm going to fetch now. I should have fetched before this went on the stack. Or they have another force. You just can't win, folks. What are they doing? Swamp. Oh, just card draw? Okay, good. We are still kind of in this, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to fetch now. We're going to get another trop. Oh, I should have gotten the freaking Tundra there. That was a punt. Sorry, my excellent friends. We do still have white off of this, but... Okay, wow. Daze is good. Daze is very good. Okay, now we get plus. So again, like, if they clear this, that's the ball game. Kind of. Let's see. Yeah, we can attack. Oh, this will get buffed to 2. Yeah, we won't be able to knock enough loyalty off. We have to. This has to work. This has to be able to connect. They have a land drop, but it is a ETB tap land. That's good for us. Come on, my heart's going doki doki. That is the Japanese expression for your heart racing. Bitter Triumph. They paid 3 life. What do they do? How are they casting this? All right, let's put this back in hand. They have another Daze. I can pay for it, but... Okay, I'm going to knock 4 loyalty off that immediately. I think I probably have to regrow... I don't think I have the luxury of being able to plus with Tamiyo. We've got our win con on the table. Wow, that's a good card. I think we can Teferi here. So first I'm going to regrow a force. That needs to happen now. Now I'm going to play out a land. I'm going to go to combat. So attack Tommy. She gets, my Plagon gets debuffed. Now I will switch the power and toughness and do 4 to her. This is precisely what I had in mind. Like, Tommy's such a menace. You need to have a plan to beat her. Plagon's a pretty good plan. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and attempt. I think if they had a day, well, they did have a window to Daze previously. So I'm going to go ahead and Teferi here. I can force to protect. They have a Daze. Is it worth forcing? It is not. It sucks, but I'm just going to take it. I need to hold force up for, and they can, regrow Bitter Triumph. But I have another Plagon that can attack before Tommy reaches ultimate. Okay, they're pondering here. I can also waste that Undercity Sewer next turn, which will be nice. Because they are a crazy combo deck, and in addition to being a crazy tempo deck, you can't do things like force to get your Teferi. It's just not good enough, sadly. It wouldn't have any impact on the board. It would just be a card draw. So I'd be going down a card to have, something that does dubious things. Like, it would be good, of course, if they just jam like a Merc here, but I'm going to try to fight a Merc on the stack. They've used 1 Daze and 1 force. They probably have... this is still game 1, I believe. Let me take a look at myself. Oh yeah, because of my endurance, this would definitely be in. Okay, so I could just let this happen and fight the reanimate, but they can reanimate twice, which sucks. I'm going to go ahead and force pitching Plagon because, yeah, they can just keep reanimating. They plus... This is going to die, but it's going to take a few turns. We got lots of clues to crack. I'm liking our position currently. Another Wasteland. I'm going to go ahead and plus here. That has to happen. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Do we Nadu before we attack? Just in case they have some shenanigans. It doesn't actually affect anything, I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Wait, they could bring this back to hand with it. Okay, now we're going to go blue, green, green. Pay for Daze if we need to. Now, if they target our dudes, it's bad for them. They have to do a lot here to win this game. They're at 12. I could have easily just focused on attacking them. Another Tommy, fine. They're down to 1 card. if they fetch, like I can just waste this, keep them low resource. I can also just negative my Tommy to get a force back. But with the sheer volume of clues I have, that may not make sense. I can just spam Nadu activations. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do this. Spam Nadu activation. Blue. Always yield. Always yield. Okay. And there's a... Let's go ahead and do it to this as well. And this is like basically the closest I get to Nadu spamming. Okay, Teferi. Now I can just play a land and cast a fairy. I think that's fine. Bounce this out of play. Blue, white, blue. They have something. Could we lose this? Not if I just... Yeah, I'll just reanimate here. Or I'm sorry, I'll get back a force, and then I'll have Teferi protected force. This comes in. Let's bounce this back to hand. Draw a card. It's a plow. I'm going to go ahead and minus and just get my force back so I can stop whatever it is they try to do here. This is the end of the game. My opponent is welcome to play it out. So we'll just attack Nadu at Tommy and 3 of them. Again, the debuffs don't matter. Tommy dies. We have Teferi protected force. And that is the ball game. But again, like... I can't think of what my... Whoa, how did they get that card in hand? Am I crazy? They didn't have that extra card in hand a second. Oh, wait. That's the Tamiyo I put back in there. Okay. I was freaking out. I was like, whoa. Is my understanding of the nature of MTGO completely screwed up? No. I'm just inattentive. Merc. It's fine. I'll just plow it and keep beating them. I'm not going to use my force on. We have this game. I'm just going to keep playing out. I will waste them just to restrict. You gain a bunch of life. You are buying time if that's what you're after. Flip, blue, trigger. I'll just hit them like several turns in a row. There's no reason that I need to go crazy here. I can do these during their turn. It'll take 2 more turns to kill them. Animate dead. Let's daze that. Again, we can do these all day. I totally understand that you're trying to make up for clock. I'm not going to hold that against you. Blue. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's go to combat, play this out. Blue. And this is just how the deck wins. Like, we don't need some crazy combo. We can just win this. I take 7 here. I could do more. I could play this guy out, I guess. And they have gotten back some time. Ooh. It does take a little while. In paper, it's pretty quick, but yeah. All right, we got game 1. That's great. Our opponent made us play the entire time, so they have completely recouped the clock differential. Endurance comes in. Daze was totally awesome there. I do kind of like... Waste wasn't bad. I think we wasted them like 3 times, and we kept them to where they couldn't merc. We got plenty of blue cards. I think I'm going to keep my waste in. Also, I'm going to change how this looks. And because this is such a click-intensive match, and like when I play against Blue-Black Reanimator, it takes your full mental energy because you have to like think about their 3 different game plans, right? They got the Tamiyo plan, they've got the Reanimate plan, and then they get their creature beat down. Sometimes it's Beargoyf. And you have to be able to address all this. So you have to think like really hard. So a lot of times if it's looking bad, I'm not going to play like a 10% game. I'll just scoop to save time. And we got very lucky there that we were on the play because you need to be on the play. All right, this is a great hand. Snap keeping it. They're going to start with probably Tommy, and there's nothing we can do about it. They're just going to generate a ton of value. Oh, they're going to Thoughtseize us? That is fine. They can't completely shut down our forces. They're probably going to take Teferi here. They did. That's a great rip. I'm going to play it out. Where do I hold it? If they daze it, it's not a big deal. But this does mean they can entomb reanimate with Daze now. If they just let this resolve, then they can entomb and reanimate. We're going to get to endurance. They don't have that's a Daze they won't have for our endurance, which is more important because it reins in the graveyard shenanigans. Reanimating our Tommy, that's fine. I mean, that's a cheap thing you can do. If they ever flip it, though, then it goes back to our side as a Planeswalker. But they can create a bunch of clues in the meantime. We don't have any quick plays. I'm going to play at the land they know about, and we'll pass. So if they like just have a series of Wastelands, they can start stacking clues and it gets pretty ugly. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a Murktide with the way they're playing. Just get that in the graveyard. I will force to protect an Endurance because it resolving clears up a lot. Oh yeah, there's the first in probably many Wastelands that are going to come our way. Or they may be using this to crack clues, which is also fun. All right, I'm going to go ahead and float. Just, it doesn't matter. I would love to find a mana dork. That is okay. I'm going to cast that. And I'm going to see if I can find a mana dork. I should fetch first. Because I may want to keep multiples. I think it's always correct personally to... oh, and if we found Teferi, that'd be great too. Okay, so we found a... These are great cards. I think we just stick the Tommy. Nadu can come later. Nadu is insurance, but like if they murk, it's too... Yeah, I'm going to play the Tommy now. We're going to try to do the value thing. We will have Nadu in 2 turns that we can pitch cast with this Endurance. Okay, they didn't have a second Daze. That's nice. Because they wasted there, they don't have a clue. I think we just let this happen. I don't want to burn my force on something like this. I need force to protect Endurance. Yeah, they're going to murk here. I'm willing to bet. And then we're going to see if they have a force. Oh, yeah, they're going to do it after attacks, I guess. But like all the behavior seems to indicate to me that they have murk in hand. And I do have to force murk. And if they Daze, we're like really far behind. So here's the force. They already know about this. We don't have anything coming that can save us. Okay, wow, that worked. That's good. Okay, so I think rather than Endurancing here, we know we have a Nadu on top. If we find a mana dork, that's great. We want the Nadu next turn. I'm going to go ahead and play with the Tamiyo now. I think our opponent is low on resources now, but they could just have Entomb Reanimate. I mean, that's certainly possible. So yeah, I want to draw this Nadu next turn. I'm going to try. So the proper sequence is play. If you have a bunch of creatures, play the Plagon last. But we are going to have to fetch if we want to play the... Okay, they may be able to flip. No, they don't want to flip. They actively don't want to flip. Blocking, I said it's free to do, but it's also free to... All right, so we're going to draw. If they have an answer to our Nadu, it's unfortunate. We could just wait because we do want that Plagon. And now we have plenty of Daze protection. Yeah, we can just crack a clue. I think I'm going to chill because I do want to be able to have Endurance just in case they have... And they may have Daze, but they won't necessarily have... They've used 1 Reanimate, so they have Animate Dead in there. Yeah, I'm going to let this connect. If they're playing Kaito, they got me. It's not very common for them to play Kaito. I'm hoping their hand is like a bunch of Brainstorms. That'd be Karmic Justice for them targeting that. So now we get to see if Bowmaster is in their deck. Whether Bowmaster is in their deck. Fatal Push, that's fine. They're going to clue for themselves. Okay. I'm really worried about clock right now, just in case I lose this game. I don't think I'm going to lose it, but it is a possibility. So we're drawing wild. Let's do it. A Nadu. I'm just going to go ahead and jam a Nadu. This will likely get countered, but it's okay. If it gets countered, that means they're probably not going to be able to counter my Endurance. They do Daze. Okay, we'll pass. They are still stacking up clues over there, but they can't play another. They can't play their own Tamiyo right now. So they may have a Tamiyo in their hand, but they're drawing 2 cards a turn. I'm going to try for Nadu again next turn, but that does take me off Endurance. If they have another Merc, it's actually pretty scary here. Barry, he's annoying. What do we have for Barry? We need to draw a Plow. Hierarch. So I think I'm going to Nadu here, and I'm just going to ignore Barry. It's super scary. The other option is just Endurance. I have tons of types in my graveyard too, so Endurance is not going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to Nadu. And then I'm going to try to Plagon. I have Endurance, pitching, Noble Hierarch if I absolutely need to, but we just have to take this hit, sadly. They can't attack with their Tamiyo anymore. Is there any way I could... Let's see, I've got Creature, Instant, Sorcery, Land. So this will be... And Planeswalker. This will be bigger. Yeah, I'm going to let them do this. It sucks. I can hit their graveyard later. They are very far ahead on life. They've been a lot of good stuff. They do get a Merc, so that could come down now. There's nothing I can do to stop that, unfortunately. I think I just lost this game. I mean, if I like just Plagon into like double plow, then that works. But what are the odds of that? I will have Plagon spam because we need to Plagon into plow and land, and then we're going to take a hit in the air, and then we need to. Yeah, things are not great. Okay, 7/7. They have a lot of power on the table. Ponder. They could find a Daze here, which would be... The other option is I just play this Hierarch for an extra draw if I draw a land. I'm going to Plagon. They have dazed me twice already. I wouldn't be surprised if they have another one. And then I could cards. Oh, wait. Yeah, we would have drawn not answers. That was pretty deep. Yeah, I mean, like, the Daze and Wastelands are very brutal. So we're not changing anything. I'm going to keep the... I mean, Dazes could come in. Pick out. I think this is too important because this can bounce like problematic creatures back to their hand. Endurance was good in that it limited the upside, but we never got a good window to cast it. We did. I mean, we could have in theory cast it that turn that we instead cast Nadu. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe that was the game losing punt because that would have cleaned up their graveyard, but they had a berry on the table. So berry would have quickly just refilled their graveyard. They would have found the Merc off berry. Yeah, I don't think that we could have won that. Not with like that observation that we could have, like basically once they successfully cast the berry, I think the game was over. So we've only got like 6 minutes. I'm going to play really quick. I'm hoping for Mana Dorks, Endurance. Mana Dorks are really good. I don't think they're playing Bowmaster. So we go really wide with Mana Dorks and then we Plague and we draw like 4 cards and then we over like 4 cards, 5 cards off Plague, and that's how much they get off Atraxa, right? Like we don't get the card selection, but it's still just a sheer volume of cards. Okay, this is a great hand. I'm snap keeping. It doesn't have immediate interaction, but I see a Mana Dork, I keep. And that gives us turn 2 Plagon, which could get dazed. I think actually we just play turn 1 Tommy. Yeah, I want to do that because just the extra clue, the extra pressure, they'll be forced to burn their interaction on this. And I'm not going to Nadu into Daze anyway. They're mulling. 6 minutes on the clock to their 7. And again, I want to remind you that they were disconnected for like 8 minutes, so they should have 15. But their deck's way easier to play than mine. Again. Oh, I misplayed. I shouldn't have played that. Okay, sorry. I said I was going to lead on Tommy, and I should have led on Tommy. If they have a Tommy of their own, I can just plow it, and I will. I respect Tommy too much. Like, one of the reasons they won there is they got like 3 cards off my reanimated Tommy. If we draw a Daze, I will go ahead and jam Nadu. No, it's not good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just Tommy here. Then I think I can go ahead and ponder and see whether I want to keep this since I've already made my land drop. Yeah. I'd like to find a Force or an Endurance. I don't think these cards are bad, but they're not Force or Endurance. I'm going to any order just in case they did mulligan. They could have the combo. Okay, there we go. Now we have Daze Protective Force if we absolutely need it, but then we don't have anything else going on. So if they just entomb here, gosh, if they entomb here, I think I probably do Force. It sucks that their 1 mana spell that can be cast at instant speed is so powerful that it necessitates a Force. But no, I think since I've got the Endurances in my deck, that I'm going to go after the Reanimate, and I have a Plow too. So if they get like a Archon, which is what they're probably going to get, next turn I do have Nadu around Daze, not anymore. Bowmaster. Man, I mean, this is a bummer. I was hoping they wouldn't play this. We keep it out of play, and that keeps our cantrips live, and it keeps our dude on the table. We're super vulnerable. No, they can just reanimate it. I'm going to let it happen. It sucks. They get a free lunch. That's what they get for like playing Bowmasters. Like, you should play it, frankly, in your overpowered blue-black Reanimator deck, and our opponent is smart in that they've identified that. Okay, so this is another Hierarch. I do think that this is the play, even though there's a Bowmaster out. I can plow the Bowmaster if I draw a cantrip, but I need the mana because they're going to waste me here probably. Undercity Sewer. They're brainstorming with this on the stack, which means they're about to bin something, which, yeah, I mean, they're going to bin something. I can't stop this. I can force to try to stop the actual reanimation effect. But yeah, they're just This is one of the degenerate things that you can do. You just line up your, what is this, Archon or Atraxa? Oh, they kept? Okay, well, that's so lucky. I guess they were hoping to find... yeah, I'll take this 2 damage. They're not wastelanding me now. Yeah, I'm just going to draw. Okay, Teferi. I think I need to stick Nadu here. And I think I'm just going to grab triple... what if they do kill this? I'll grab a white source. No, then I only have 1 white source in the deck. I'm going to go ahead and grab a trop. Blue, blue, green, Nadu. I will force to protect this because it's like literally the only thing I've got going on. Next turn we can start hitting him for 3 and 4 in the air. If they have another Bowmaster, I probably actually do need to force it to keep them off. So I have access to white, but because they had the heads up, the face up Wasteland, yeah, I'm gonna let's let this happen, and then we'll, 2 for 2 when we force it. There's an Archon. Okay, I'm gonna force this, and if you kill it, I don't have a lot of counterplay here. Like if you can force back, they do have the force back. Unfortunately, we have to sack the Nadu here because we need white to be able to plow, and we do have to plow this thing. What a beating. Oh, I have to discard the plow too. Oh, I'm so dead. What a freaking joke. I can't stand this deck. Oh, what a sad way to end. Like, I've fought so hard and they had the combo. I could have countered the Entomb, but they had the force anyway. It's just a story of my life playing against this deck. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to be salty, but we're on the play. Yeah, they waste us. There's no sequence of draws that gets us out of this, unfortunately. Teferi. But oh yeah, I guess we could find a plow now. Any order shuffle. Do we find a plow? No. Good game. All right. And we lose that anyway, so we would have had a float. Yeah. Devastation. What can I say? Man, the deck is just a menace. See you in round 4. We are 2-1. All right. We are in round 4 against unique username who seems to be on mono white. We had just an insane opener. Sorry, I forgot to hit the record button. But we're recording now, and yeah, we were able to bounce our Mother of Runes. We were able to daze their Johnny, and we're just abusing the fact that we were on the play here. They may be able to plow this or Caracas it out of the way, but it will be +1 card, and then we're going to stick Plagon and just go. Ancient Tomb. 3 mana in the pool. Felia. Mom. Okay, this is a problem that we need to deal with. Felia is going to be super annoying here. We didn't find an answer. Yeah, unfortunately, I think we just have to stick Plagon, draw a bunch of cards, and then we'll see what we find. We could cut them off this Ancient Tomb, which may slow them down. Let's go ahead and Plagon, because at the very worst, we can just play a land and trigger Plagon. Blue, blue, colorless, Plagon. Draw 3 cards. Okay, Daze is nice. I think we just trigger Plagon here and hit him for 4 in the air. Got another Teferi. If they kill this Teferi, we can deploy another one. So we'll hit him for 4 in the air. If they try to Solitude or anything, we've got Daze. They can't Solitude because of Teferi. So it looks like we're just up against the Warp deck, but I haven't seen a Ganjo in a long time. I think I've made my opinion on these kind of tech lands clear. They just open you up to losing to Blood Moon when you're on a mono. Okay, yeah, we had a very dominant position there. Okay, so this is not necessarily a good matchup for us. We don't have anything to sideboard here. I think we just go back in. I'm not in love with Daze against the Ancient Tomb deck. I think we could cut those. Maybe we cut those and we bring in Endurance, because Endurance can at least clog up the ground a little bit. And we were able to Daze there, so maybe they'll respect Daze even though it's not in our deck anymore. In terms of blue cards, we have 24, 26. So we're fine on blue cards. And our opponent has to respect the fact that we have Nadu in our deck, even though we don't actually have some way of going crazy with Nadu. Nomad Encore, because Nomad Encore sucks. I understand how powerful it is, but there is something nice about just playing. None of the cards we play is embarrassing. A Nomad without a Nadu is embarrassing. Okay, this hand doesn't work. We'll throw it back. Opponent has mulligan as well. This is a fine hand. We'll just put back one of the redundant Nadus. I don't expect this to actually interact with the graveyard at all. Again, this is just in there just as a body that can potentially like jump in and snipe a Felia, for example. I don't expect our opponent to be playing Wasteland if they're playing Ancient Tomb, because they might be. As I may have noted earlier in the video, Endurance does fuel Plagon, so we want to play Plagon last. Plains, pass. Okay. So it looks like I'm probably just going to go ahead and ponder here. I'll drop ponder. We just want to keep moving things forward. They mulligan to 5? Okay. It's possible they just mulligan to removal out of respect for Nadu. So we're going to try to find land number 3 and maybe like a force. I think Endurance outclasses most of the threats in their deck. So if we can get it down, we may just be able to like just start smashing in with Endurance. I mean, this is land number 3. The Hierarch is okay. I don't think they have anything to like kill the Hierarch that wouldn't also kill any of the other creatures. They're probably just playing Plow as their main interaction spell. So I think we can just leave this stacked as is. And then we'll shuffle. So next turn we will just play the Hierarch and then we'll shuffle. So we don't have to draw the 4th land. Unless they waste us. Then in which case we will want to draw that land. But I suspect like they didn't keep Wasteland if they mulled to 5. There we go. What is this? Thalia is not that big of a deal. Like our entire hand is creatures. So I do think I can probably safely shuffle away that land here. Next turn, we definitely want to try to like ambush with Endurance. There's the Wasteland, so I'll just keep the land on top. Ajani is okay. They've done some damage to themselves already. Thalia comes in. I'll take it. So I'll just hold the Endurance until it's time to attack next turn. And then when they attack, depending on how they attack, I will leap in with Endurance. And even if they clear the Endurance with like a Solitude or a Plow, a Ganjo, that actually ironically won't save Thalia because it only prevents 2 damage. Okay, I think I just kill this. No, this is 2 toughness. I'm just going to kill the Thalia and let that through. Green, green. So again, we're going to kill here because we can't stop a Ganju from saving their Ajani. Okay, another 3 mana. Halia. Okay, she's cool. Man, they've got a lot of legends in their deck. They gain a life, but that isn't that big of a deal. Then we could Plagon for 3 cards. And I kind of like just Naduing because it's big. And the other option is we could just surprise with yet another Endurance, which is also totally fine. They are going to be able to use a Ganjo here. They're down to 1 card. I do need to kill this Ajani because if it flips, they don't have red permanents, but it could be a problem. I'll play the land. I could go ahead and attack. I think I attack. And then that's 4 damage. That puts them at 11. They're using their life total as a resource. So Nadu could just be pitched to force. It's not that big of a deal. Plagon is definitely more valuable in this context than Nadu is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and block. Green, green, green. They're going to have to Ganjo back in their deck. I don't think they have anything like they may have like pre-war or something like that in their deck. I doubt it. And actually, this is bad if they no, because they'll have I'll just block here and make them use the thing and take the 2 damage. So that's like basically all their mana for the turn. I took 2 damage. They did not gain enough life to do anything here. We could just waste the Ganjo here. I think that's fine. Then I can attack for 4. And then I can stick Plagon and draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, they're like hemorrhaging life. Especially if they tap this tomb. Blue, blue. I could draw a Plow. Actually, if I draw a Plow, I can just use the Hierarch. Let's draw 4 cards. I can't see how we lose from here. Oop. They didn't even let me see what cards I was going to get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't have gotten anything really useful. I would have been able to make a land drop and probably play that halfling out. That was just devastation. My goodness. All right. So I think we have a very good matchup against the warp deck. Or you just got exceptionally lucky. But that felt extremely easy. That was the easiest of the 4 rounds. And Unique Username is a strong player. Final round, we're on the draw against Tempo player Young Justin. We've got a Force of Will hand. We've got Delighted Halfling, double Delighted Halfling. I'm Snap. I know I only have 1 land. This is just the risk you take with this deck. There are no basics. They're like, you are super vulnerable to Wasteland, to Blood Moon, all that stuff. Just have to accept it. I can lead with the Hierarch. I actually think that's better because then I can still deploy the Halflings next turn if I get wasted. But I can't do vice versa. So we're looking for Plagon, of course, with our many dorks. All right. This could be blue-black Reanimator. Merc to the yard. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just deploy these. Is that true? Do I want to deploy a Tommy? I think it's better to just get these on the table. I am worried that they have Bowmaster here. That's fine. That's good for us. They pitched a Brazen Borrower. They are scared of uncounterable legendary creatures. Brainstorm is fine. They know that they can waste us here. If they have Bowmaster plus waste, that would be strong. Fetching. Another under... Okay, they're definitely on Reanimator. I can't stand this deck, but we're going to do our best. I did beat it in paper last night with Merfolk. So like we recorded the first 3 videos yesterday, and then I went and I played my Merfolk, the exact 75 that I published a recent video of me just going like 8-0, like in terms of like games, like 4-0, 8-0, and then the final round was bugged and I didn't get I just got a draw for it. But yeah, so sick that we ripped that, by the way. So I think the play here is we just Tommy. We can immediately brainstorm Tommy. I don't mind that because then we've got Tommy ticking up. This is uncounterable Tommy. And yeah, let's go ahead and brainstorm off of this. Another Tommy's not great. Actually, I would rather have Tommy than these lands. I'll just put those back. She flips. We'll plus her. Do I want to go ahead and fetch and then ponder? I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and get the Tundra here. I could find like a plow or something like that. I'll actually be really embarrassed if I don't find blue cards. Wow, that's so good. I'm just going to put the Tommy in my hand because I don't want it to get discarded. I'll draw the Plagon. I will eventually draw the land. Yeah, this is great because now I've got double force up in case they try to do their Reanimator shenanigans. I'm also Daze protected with this Tundra. Plagon's going to be insane. This is how you beat blue-black Reanimator. You just draw insane cards. Okay, there's the Wasteland. So they may have Daze, and they may plan to do the thing here. Excuse me. All right. So we draw the card. I'm going to go ahead and just draw 3 cards. Blue, blue, blue. This will include a land that I can make for uncounterable. Draw 3. I'm going to plus here, and I'm just going to play this out. Unwastable Daze protection. I mean, it can technically be wasted. And then we've got the plow in hand as well. I think if we force, we get 2 for 1. So I'll let them entomb. Traxa. Yes, I would like to force that. Usually you go after the entomb, but because our hand is so strong, I'm not worried. Oh, they actually had a second one. Well, they can't have a force here. I could just regrow a force just in case they rip another one and just start beating them down like crazy. I think that's a good plan. So we don't know what's on top, so we'll just draw. Okay, another land is not bad. I'm going to go ahead and just regrow this force just to ensure that we don't get blown out. Now, I'll just go to combat here with one of them. That'll get exalted, and then I'm just going to go ahead and swap. All right, and we'll just do that a few turns in a row. I could technically do that with this too and hit him for 5, but I don't think it's worth it. Thoughtseize is fine. If they have a third reanimate, I can just plow with their thing on the stack. They'll probably take the... I mean, if they don't think the Ponder, I can actually... Do you have another reanimate? Holy guacamole, what a freaking hand. Okay, well, when this comes in, I'm going to plow it. That's crazy. They had, like, so if I had gone after the Entomb, it really would have been better. Okay, so yeah, let's go get a Tundra. Wait, we don't even need to get a Tundra. I'll just do this. So they're hellbent, and now they're going to get like a bunch of cards. And they were able to do that without even losing any life. They find an Entomb and a Reanimate. That's really going to suck for me. They did. They found freaking Entomb Reanimate. Oh my goodness, this deck. All right, well, we're going to whack them lower. Let's see, what was their hand? They chose Murktide, Entomb, Reanimate, Underground Sea. Not bad. Not bad. Pretty good. Okay, so it's not represented here because I accidentally clicked that, but they do have a Murktide in hand. Okay, so we can just regrow the plow. I mean, the best thing to do, if we just draw another Plagon, we get 3 cards. Draw a Nadu, we go crazy. I can always regrow the plow. I want to not regrow something if I can avoid it. But yeah, if we get forced, then we just deal with the reanimate, and that's like their second to last reanimation effect in the deck probably. Wow, like we had such a strong start, but they could actually win here. Another halfling. Let's ponder first. But that does mean I can't regrow the force. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think the good thing to do, like the correct thing to do, is just regrow the force. That we have force blue card for the reanimate, but they'll know that. We don't have the endurance in the deck, so we just don't have a clean way to deal with the entombed. The Murktide we can deal with. Yeah, I mean, I hate to do this, but I think it is correct to just go ahead and get the force back. Murk's going to be freaking huge, though. I mean, there's nothing we can find, unfortunately. We need 5 mana to cast the force. We could just get the force back and like hard cast it. I don't hate that, but that does mean I can only attack for 1 because I can't flip. Oh, what am I doing here? If they get the thing back, they're going to entomb. I'm going to have to discard. It's going to be a mess. And then hopefully they do entomb, and then, you know, we can ignore the entomb, and then we just go for the reanimate. And then, assuming that they do go for entomb reanimate and they don't draw like a Thoughtseize, something like that, then I think we'll be. But this deck, like I've said it so many times, I've played hundreds of matches against this. This deck, like, it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how good your deck is. You will just randomly lose to them. All right, and they've got the Archon in there. Now, I think the simple thing to do is just, I could get blown out by a Daze if they draw it. How many Dazes have they? 3? I think they're unlikely to draw it. But hitting them for 4 and just safely pitching this. But I don't want to pitch this because this is how I find a plow. Yeah, I think I'm just going to attack for 1 and pass. And they may just be patient. Like, if they Murk here, which is the right thing to do. Yeah, that was their draw for turn, so they don't have Daze in their hand. Murk. So now I have to find a second force. Actually, I can't do anything about this right now. Because if I do, then they can just entomb as well. Yeah, I'll just let that happen. It's large. We need a brainstorm. I could ponder into a brainstorm. Let's ponder into a brainstorm, shall we? This is basically the only way we win. Any order shuffle. I could take the Daze just to ensure that I can force here. But then I'm necessarily taking a hit. Which, there's no way we can race them. Like, let's see. So we attack 3, this 5. Oh, I could play out the halfling. I think I play out the halfling, and then they hit for 7. And then we hit for 7 as well. They hit for 7. We hit for 7 as well. We could win that race, actually, but we have to fetch. Let's see. So 14. So this costs 1 life. 13. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take the Daze here. And we're going to wait for them to attack. I will play out the halfling. Yeah. Because this represents more attack power next turn. All right, and we just have to chill. Their hand is reanimate. If they fetch, that makes them even more vulnerable. All right, so here comes 7 in the air. I will take it. Do you want to go for it? You do. Okay, well, I'll just force that. And I think we're actually dead. We hit for 7. It's actually not enough to race them. We need to draw something good. We're drawing wild. That doesn't do anything, unfortunately. So 1, 2, 3. We hit for 7. We have one more turn cycle. Playing at this doesn't do anything. Playing out this doesn't do anything. I don't think we'd do it. I'm just going to go ahead and go to combat. And we're just going to blue. I can't fetch. So Brainstorm doesn't even really save me here. They take 7. They can't reanimate anymore. No, they can still actually reanimate. Yeah, so we're going to, we'll see what they draw. But if we draw Plow, we're okay. If we draw Brainstorm, that could lead to Plow. If we drew Ponder, that could lead to Plow. Ponder, let's find a Plow, please. They could have Hardcast Force. Does Plagon number 2 help? It takes all of our mana. We're going to draw a bunch of chaff because I can't shuffle this. Let's shuffle any order. Come on, give me a good card. That doesn't do it. That's a frustrating loss. Super frustrating loss. But I think it was correct to let the Entomb resolve there because, it was just bad luck that they had 4 reanimation effects. That's uncharacteristically lucky. The cards that come out, I think Dazes come out. Is that what I've been doing here? Some number of Wastelands and Dazes, because you frankly just can't tempo their deck. It just doesn't work when it's 1 black mana to Entomb, 1 black mana to... All right, I really like to not have my 2 losses in this league, but it is the best deck, so I'm just going to do my best. But I think I started to tell the story. Last night I went and I took my Merfolk deck and I just completely slaughtered an extremely skilled player who was on Blue-Black Reanimator, trying to be a spike. And it wasn't even close. They didn't do a damn thing. I just beat them down so quickly. And they Thoughtseize and they had to take the Mistcaller. And from there, I just overwhelmed. I do think that Reanimator has blind spots, and I think that this is good hand. Yeah, let's keep it. We're on the play, so Daze. It's lucky that we drew our one of Daze here, but I'm gonna definitely open Tamiyo and just get the party going. It sucks that we had to minus Tamiyo twice, but that was card positive, and I do think that was the disciplined play. I think if we kept plussing her, they were gonna do the reanimate thing. So they're at 6 cards. We have an answer to a turn 2, but unfortunately, because they're now playing Thoughtseize, which they weren't playing for a while, Thoughtseize basically just means you can't rely on answers like this to actually be there when you need them. Fatal Push, I'll just Daze it. I'm going to apply pressure here. They force. Love it. There are 3 cards. Card they pitched is their own Tommy. I'm just going to Island Ponder. I mean, they could have Entomb Reanimate as their last 2 cards. Oh! And then, if they have a Daze, it's such a blowout. I want to Ponder for momentum. I want to find a Mana Dork. All right, that's quite good. These are insane cards. I'm going to take the Dork in hand. Sorry for anybody who actually knows the meaning of the word dork. It's used colloquially all the time, but it has an actual meaning. Take the dork in hand. Sorry. Inquisition. Yeah, that's good. So they're not only playing Thoughtseize, they're also playing Inquisition here. They're going to take our Endurance, I bet, which means they have the combo. Oh, they took Nadu. Well, I've got another Nadu on top. All right, so I think here I'm just going to play this out. I mean, what are the risks? I guess I could just chill and be Daze Proof, and then next turn I've got Endurance, and I've also got Nadu. But if things get really hairy, I could Brainstorm, find a green card, and if I have to, oh wow, they don't have a land. That's freaking good, because I definitely want this Nadu on top. I'm just gonna play him out. Does it make sense to play him, or does it make sense to just? Our hand is freaking solid. They don't have anything in the graveyard worth killing. They're 2 islands away from Merc. I'm going to go ahead and play Nadu uncounterably. I will grab the Tundra because I don't want to get wasted off of the ability to... They could reanimate my Nadu, which is kind of terrifying. I do have Teferi in my deck to bounce him back to my hand, but that would still give them a trigger. All right. We're getting the fail state, which you don't get often against this. I think I just go in. I can hold up in-step endurance. I'll just play this out. I'm going to go ahead and go in for a hug. And then what I'll do is I'll play a Tommy. And then I'll still have Brainstorm up. And I can play Tommy uncounterably. I think we've got this game, but I've said that so many times against their deck, and then they just combo me with 0 resources, and it's so embarrassing. Because like literally 1 black mana is all they need. They've got everything they need, which is why we can't really tempo them. Like they can just ignore our Wasteland, go fetch a basic. Yeah, we're getting really lucky here. They're all right. So let's go ahead and just come in with everything, except for the hierarch. I would love to not flip this, but I think I am going to just pretty solid. I don't need this for now. This I've got covered. Okay, so Tommy flips. I'll just plus. And we'll chill with 2 potential points of interaction. Yeah, we can crack this clue and get a thing. We can still play around Daze. Weird. Why they... I'm just going to plus here. Yeah, if I had gotten the Tundra, I wouldn't be in this situation. I'll just attack. I'm going to keep the mana up for Daze. They're at 10. They have just like really 1 more turn to be able to reanimate. So let's trigger this. I think we can just counter this. Yeah, I'll just pitch force. Ponder's fine. They're about to fall below reanimate levels. They can still Merc. They could like force this. Graveyard. Now Merc is no longer a threat. And I can't think of how we die now. I'm just gonna regrow this force. Right. So we've got, I believe, everything covered. We don't have endurance, but they need to have like land, plumate, or animate dead specifically. Yeah. And we had the force to cover that. All right. Game 3. I mean, we did daze something. Oh, I think we dazed a push, and then they were forced. So we got like a 2-for-1 for 0 mana, which is pretty good. I think we keep the daze around. 9 minutes on the clock to their 20. And I am a slow player, but like just it's computationally very intensive to beat their deck. You have to think about everything. Okay, this is a mulligan. I don't have to think hard about that. This is a keep with a halfling. I'm going to put back... Am I going to put back Ponder? I think I put back Ponder because then I still have... And there's a very good chance that this gets wasted. But we should have halfling out, which should help us get Tamiyo out. Thoughtseize. Oh, Ponder. Okay. Ponder is... like, it's crazy how Ponder used to be like one of the best cards, and now you're like always relieved when your opponent's pondering. They did not shuffle their Ponder, so they found some good stuff. Let's go ahead and see if they have a Daze. That'll be a Daze they don't spend on our emergency endurance pitching Nadu next turn. They do have the Daze. It sucks, but I was going to go for it. No fetch. So I think they probably have like Instep and Tomb here. I was going to go ahead and play Tommy. Next turn, we can attempt a Plagon, which will flip Tommy and give us lots of value. I would love for them to force this. Because that means they have like the fact that they're thinking about this means that our endurance is not safe. Unfortunately, we are almost certainly going to get killed here. And it'll be a fitting end to like an otherwise really fun league. Just blue-black Reanimator. I wish I didn't have to play with it. Like if I could wave my hand, like I don't care about Oops. Like I've gotten to the point where I can reliably beat Oops, reliably beat Moon Stompy. Carnforge, I think I'm getting better at. It's just this deck. It doesn't matter how much you practice against it. They will eventually be able to beat you. So yeah, this removes our protection. We are going to be able to waste them here, which might be consequential. But they probably take the Nadu, and then we just have to find a green card. Nadu is the scariest card. Okay, they took the endurance. So they could absolutely have a Daze here. Plagon is good for a lot of cards, though. I think they probably have a Daze. I think I need to waste them, frankly. I think I'd be remiss not to waste them here. Just in case they're choked on mana. And I do get a draw, which means I could find a force. I guess I'd do this. And I'm just going to chill. Like, I think cracking the clue, main phase, is a sign of weakness. Okay, and they could have Bowmaster, which I'm fine with. Like, it's not a good card against my deck, but I guess it does take out the... do you want to Bowmaster me? I'll be relieved. Okay, so that's not a, that's like basically a dead card. Halfling's great. However, if we play Halfling, we're kind of sitting still. But I mean, we're still going up on cards with Tommy, so it's not the end of the world. I guess I can play this out. Just yeah, we're not going to use it this turn. Well, actually, we probably are. So yeah, I should have played out the Trop because I'm going to crack a clue and I'm going to play the Halfling in this turn cycle. I think it's very likely that we die next turn. Unfortunately, this play did make it to where Daze blows us out. Like even if we find a Force or an Endurance. Okay, this is lucky. Please don't bin something. They've been in Entomb. Interesting. They must have Entomb and they're just looking for a Reanimate. Or okay, wow. Holy cow. We're getting so lucky here. Now Bowmaster can come in and kill this time. But I think it's worth it just because I want the forward momentum. I need to find answers to their combo. Holy cow, this is so freaking low. Oh, so lucky. So freaking lucky. Oh my goodness. I think we go to combat and we waste in combat. That way, yeah, we got our clue. And now that I have my clue, I'm going to go ahead and waste. And now if you want, you can like Fatal Push. Okay, they didn't even float. What is going on over there? What do they have in their hand? Blue. Blue. This is insane. Do you have the Bowmaster? Have you just been disciplinedly holding it the whole time? Entomb. Oh, so they've been the other Entomb already. We could potentially draw Endurance here. I'm going to let them Entomb. Again, when you have Endurance in your deck, I think it's correct to let them Entomb because you're essentially getting a 2-for-1 on the reanimation effect. Okay, they put Atraxa in there. We get 3 cards. We flip Tommy. She pluses. We have Daze Protected Force. Hopefully they don't have double Reanimate. Like Atraxa is less scary than Archon. Okay, this is the Force. Pitch in Nadu because I can, potentially draw more cards. Do you have a Force back? You do? Okay, well, we got a ball game. Unfortunately. All right, and the card they pitched to Force was Tommy. And they didn't lose any life either, so it's not like we're going to be able to tempo them. We have 4 plows that we're drawing to. We don't have a Force we can regrow. See what they like. They always flip Entomb, Reanimate. There's Entomb and Reanimate. Wow. Sorry, I'm trying not to be pissy about this, but man, I cannot stand this deck. It's just so obviously overpowered. Like we're so freaking far ahead and we're still going to probably lose. But you could say, oh, well, you're not really. You just think you're far ahead because you've been generating all this insane value the entire time. You've drawn like 6 cards more than they have and everything like that. But it doesn't matter in the end. They don't have a Force that I know of. They could have one in hand prior to this. It's looking like they're going to get Tommy for sure. And then probably Entomb, Reanimate, and a land. I'd be stunned if they took some other combination of cards. I can Nadu and start Nadu spamming, but I don't think it's enough. That's a Fatal Push on that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so the cards they kept, Fatal Push, Tamiyo, Ponder, Underground Sea. So they chose not to keep the Entomb, Reanimate. So they have a Tommy and a Wasteland or a Underground Sea. Wait, did they play the Underground Sea? Yeah, they did. So they don't have the Underground Sea. They just have Tommy and Ponder right now. All right. Plow. Please give me a Plow. They took the Ponder, which may signal that they do have a Force. I probably need to regrow the Force before I cast Plow if I find a Plow. I mean, it would be extremely lucky to find Plow. The other thing, I can just play out Nadu and start Nadu spamming. I think that's probably the line if I don't just naturally draw a Force. That way I can at least get some value and threaten to crack back for 7. They'll gain 7 from the lifelink, or 6 rather. We're not going to race them. And I do think it will be correct to go ahead and regrow the Force rather than trying to tick Tamiyo up because she's going to lose a lot. It really comes down to this draw. Heart doesn't change anything. I don't even think we play it out. I probably just hold it for a future Pitchcast Endurance. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Nadu. The fact that they killed our Delighted Halfling tells me they may have Force. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get my Force first. Because I do need this to resolve. Green, green, blue. It doesn't matter because I'm going to activate. Okay, let's go ahead and activate. Okay, another Hierarch. That's not what we want to see. We just have to pass. They have Vigilance as well. So hopefully like our cards survive. We don't have Daze protection anymore, but I don't know they have Daze. They're probably just going to attack our life total directly here. Inquisition is unfortunate because it takes the Plagon, which is what we're going to use to cast Force. So now we don't have Force up anymore. They attacking me or Tommy? Attacking Tommy. I'm not going to defend her. We have 4 virtual cards, 5 virtual cards if they don't remove Nadu this turn cycle. We've got 4 minutes on the clock. I need to play quickly. Ponder. They're trying to go find a fatal push, but they don't have Revolt. They need to. And they didn't have. They played an Underground Sea from hand last turn, so they didn't have a fetch that I know. There's the Ponder. So the last card in hand that we know about is Tommy. So this represents this. I'm just gonna go ahead and start spamming. Okay, and this is an answer. Let's play it. Blue. Oh, I mean, there's certainly a risk that they just have a Force. I can always activate Plagon the last time. They Force. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate one more time. See if we find a blue card. Probably like a 50% chance. Yes! Oh my goodness, are we going to win? What? They have a double freaking Force! Oh! And we just lost both of those. Such a freaking beating. Such a beating. Oh my goodness. What a travesty. All right, we're going to pass. They get to attack. They gain a bunch of life. They're hellbent, basically. I think we might still be able to win with this combo. But yeah, I don't actually know how we would lose. We just have to dig and find a plow. I'm worried about the clock. Okay, endurance is great. I want to go ahead and just start doing this. Blue. Always yield. Okay, there's another Nadu. Blue. There's a brainstorm. I feel confident that we can find a plow. Come on, where's that damn plow? My goodness. I can brainstorm on top of this. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, I should have targeted this. That was a punt. Sorry, my excellent friends. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. The last card in their hand absolutely could be a plow. Holy cow, we're just not getting there. Put these back. Just going to fetch. I guess I play out a Tommy here just as a chumper. I don't want to drop too low in life. Next turn we have double Ponder to try to find a plow. Man, what a freaking ordeal. They have a land drop, which is a dead card. Oh no, they're going to cast a freaking Merc too. Oh, fatal push on that. Yeah, that sucks, but we'll be all right. So let's block here. They have so much life we're going to need to attack them like 20 times. Oh, actually, we don't have a land to fetch. We can use it to shuffle. Let's go find a plow, please. All right, finally. 1 minute, 22 seconds. Got a lot of attacking to do here. I don't have time to really do anything defensive. I'm not even going to play out Tommy. I could definitely ponder for a Force. I don't know what they can draw here. Like Baragoi would be a pain in the ass. I'm just going to shuffle because I don't want those cards on top. Okay, like another Endurance would be good. It's going to take so many freaking turn cycles. I'm just going to chill. I have to F6 through the turn. F6. F6. Oh my goodness. Don't freaking brainstorm. F6. You have the brainstorm. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't do anything about that. We'll ditch this. Green, green, blue. Nadu. F6. We have no time. They're surveilling. That's fine. Been in the tomb. F6 through your turn because I don't have an option. You can do whatever the heck you want. You can even bully me with the clock, which is not a chill thing to do, but something people do sometimes. Discard this. If I played this out, we would have lethal here. Okay, we have lethal. That is fine. Green, green, blue. Nadu. Attack. F6. I have a Force in my hand, but I still can't do anything. 11 seconds. Do you have a blocker? Oh my goodness. Crazy games. Crazy freaking games. We beat Blue-Black Reanimator in the end. I love this build. Like, it did suck that we lost our Blue-Black Reanimator. That would have been such a sweet trophy. But yeah, like that was a 4-1 with my brew. I mean, this doesn't... how does it win? Well, it just, like, it turns out Endurance is freaking sweet. My goodness, like my heart is racing after that. I was like 11 seconds on the clock. My opponent graciously not being a douche and like, oh, they'll be like pass priority. Oh, I'm going to fetch. What do you get? Like I was F6ing. I'm pretty good at playing on low clock. How did I get to low clock? Well, there was no real reason other than the fact that, like, as I said, that matchup is so mentally taxing and so computationally intensive. And again, I've said I'm not going to Eternal Weekend because it would cost like $2,000. There's like some football game or something. It's a fortune. It's a fortune to get a hotel there. If you have friends and you're like just sleeping on the floor, or, cycling through beds, like, okay, I get the bed this night, that can work. If you're driving, if you're like within distance, you should absolutely drive there. But if you're like in Texas and you're flying in, you don't have any friends or family in the area and you're going to have to spend $400 to sleep in a hotel. Like, I don't know. Like I didn't want to spend like $2,000 and just sit there playing Blue-Black Reanimator all day. Like we did in this league, basically. But Blue-Black Reanimator, I said this to a few people last night when we were playing in paper at Boardwalk Games, here in Dallas. We got a pretty big legacy scene here. And, basically I said, like, I feel very confident that day 2 of Eternal Weekend is just going to be Blue-Black Mirrors all day. Like the deck is head and shoulders above every other deck in the format. It has all the tools. And I think the reason why people underestimate it is because a lot of the people playing it just suck at it. Like if you get like Michael Reed, you get like, what is the guy's name? Like Easy Money Marksman. You get like if Andrea Maringucci is there, he'll always play whatever the best deck is. He's like insane at the game. Bosch and Roll probably is going to play Blue-Black Tempo, but like Blue-Black Reanimator just gives you so many free wins that like, yeah, like there's like no way that I'm getting top 8, frankly, if I'm not playing that deck. And there's just so much variance. Like you can be playing a perfectly good deck like this that has lots of tools against it and you can still lose. Like we lost that one game and I was just like, how did we lose this? Like all 3 of those games felt like we were winning until we weren't. So yeah, like, and then the previous, Blue-Black Reanimator, I think was also a 1-2, but like, I think that game also used almost the entire clock. It's just, you have to think so much. Okay. What are their lines? How can they win from here? How do I get rid of this giant monster that just gave my opponent 4 cards and now is gaining them life and walling all my aggression? I think this build is a testament to the fact that Nadu is kind of like, okay, as a fair creature, you don't have to be combo Nadu. You can be value Nadu. And I know people hate this card, and it is an R&D mistake. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. But, like, frankly, like, if you want to do something powerful, Nadu's powerful. And being able to play all good cards, like, there are no bad cards in this deck, right? Like, no situational cards. Like, everything is freaking solid. Yes, you have to play a pretty risky mana base. We didn't get Blood Mooned. We didn't get wasted out of the game at all. I think the fact that I'm playing so many fetches and so many mana dorks, like it disincentivizes people from wasting you. It's like, oh yeah, I could waste them, but they've got like 2 Noble Hierarchs out. Does that even accomplish anything? Well, yeah, it does. Our deck is extremely mana hungry, but people don't necessarily realize how mana hungry it is because they think, oh, it's Nadu, and but actually because we're Plagon, which Plagon was insane the entire match, drawing like 3 to 5 cards or probably like realistically 3 to 4 cards. I don't know if we ever drew 5 cards, but like if you're doing this kind of stuff, like this is insane value. And if it's uncounterable, it's so strong. And then this, I think there was a moment where we were just beating down Tamiyo. Like we did 7 damage to Tamiyo in a single turn cycle, 6 damage or something, maybe 7. Because I think we attacked with Plagon and Nadu at the same time and just killed a straight up like 7 loyalty Tamiyo despite her like debuffs and everything. Like this is a legit counter strategy to Tamiyo. And of course we were playing Tamiyo ourselves. We never ultimated her, but she was out there constantly annoying our opponents. We used her very conservatively and regrew a lot of spells. I think that this is a legit shell. This is kind of like the 4th Nadu shell, right? You've got the traditional Bant Nadu. You've got the Green Sun Zenith Court of Calling, like Cradle Nadu. And then you've got Breakfast Nadu, which is probably the best. And then this is just like a kind of like, if you don't want to play Breakfast because you don't like drawing janky cards, and this is all good cards Nadu, basically, is how I would refer to it. I don't think the Forces ever came in, but the Endurances came in really strong. This is definitely a good card to be playing against Blue-Black Reanimator. The fact that it stops Murktides, like kind of proactively keeps the Murktides from hitting the table, and that it's like a real body. Like against mono white, like these came in and like ambushed their creatures and just were, with the Exalted triggers, they were doing so much damage. So yeah, I like this build a lot. I may play it again. I actually don't have 4 Trops. I only have 3. That's like the one dual land I don't own like 4 copies of in FBB. Like, so I can't actually play this deck in paper. I would have to borrow a Trop. I'm trying to get my friend's beta Trop, which would be insane. I don't own any beta duels, but he's getting it authenticated, and I might get it. Like, I'd have to talk my wife into getting it because it's like a $3,000 plus card. But like, how sweet would that be if I had a beta Trop? Because I do need a 4th Trop, and why not go all the way up to beta if I'm going to be already spending $1,000 on an FBB Trop? Anyway, this is all like marginalia. You probably don't care. If you made it to this far in the video, leave a comment with it and tell me like what you want me to play next. Do you hate Nadu's guts? And like, obviously if you did, you like didn't even watch this video, because I always make a point to put Nadu in the thumbnail if he's in the deck so people can just skip him, because I don't want people clicking into my video and be like, ugh, what the hell, Nadu, like cringe. I want people to at least appreciate like, okay, Be Excellent's trying to brew in this space. He's trying to like innovate on like a pretty not solved, but like I feel like since Nadu's come out, like there have been those 3 archetypes I mentioned, and I believe this is a 4th one. Like I do believe that Plagon and Nadu have such positive interaction that you don't need to play terrible cards like Nomad Encore or Shuko. And I'll leave it there. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.